Hello guys, today we're gonna take a look at Queen 2 on vinyl. Oh boy. I have to say, this is probably most, you see, Queen's always good. I mean, you can't go wrong with Queen, but I have to say, I did not expect to listen to the kind of album I listened to with this. This completely blew my expectations away. This is an awesome record. First, a little bit about it before we talk about it in more opinion-based terms. This album came out in 1974. Let's see. It's about 40 minutes, 42 seconds long, the vinyl version. There's some alternate special editions. It was done by, the label was EMI slash Elektra. One of the producers was Roy Thomas Baker, who also worked with, let's see, who else did he work with? We'll deal with Rolling Stones. He also worked with the Rolling Stones, among many other groups. Only one single for this one, Seven Seas of Rye. This Wikipedia page is actually pretty good. They go by the songs pretty well. So I'm reading about Nevermore here, because Nevermore was the only track that kind of blended in. I couldn't. Yeah, that one was pretty brief. Let's see. I'm just looking through this here. Yeah, no surprise tracks here. It's weird. So Brian May wrote pretty much the first side white, and Freddie Mercury wrote it all side black. However, Roger Taylor, the drummer, wrote the fifth track inside. Being also special note, Brian May is the lead vocalist in Someday One Day, which I could tell it was a different guy. Roger Taylor sings leading in The Loser in the end, and Mercury and Taylor share leads on The March of the Black Queen. So that's interesting. So Freddie Mercury did lead vocals, backing vocals, piano, and a harpsichord. Brian May played electric guitar, backing vocals, acoustic guitar, lead vocals, bells, piano, and organ. Roger Taylor Taylor's credited as Roger Meadows Taylor. Drums, backing vocals, lead vocals, additional vocals, gong, marimba, tambourine, percussion. John Deacon did bass guitar and acoustic guitar. But yeah, that they did. And then on AllMusic, sorry if you couldn't see my face. I'm doing notes through the laptop. AllMusic did the AllMusic critic rating was 4 out of 5 stars. The user rating was 4.5 out of 5 stars by 2,800-ish user votes. So let's go over this album track by track here. My thoughts. First, let's take a look. First of all, this cover. Everyone assumes this style with Bohemian Rhapsody, but they actually really started with Queen 2. I mean, look at that. That's just awesome. And you may be backwards in recording. I'm not quite sure. That's what it looks like to me, but I don't think it is. And then look at this on the back. I mean, God. And then let's open this bad boy up, and it opens like this here. And this is where it opens to. I mean, look at that. The black and white motif theme is really prevalent in the record design, just like the album black label, black side, white side. On the white side is a song about a white queen, and the black side is a song about a black queen. Yeah, and it has the title tracks right there. And then even the slip here. The slip here is also side black has all the lyrics there, and side white has all the lyrics here. See if I actually put it back in like that when I put it in. I did not. But yeah, this, and even look at that there, this little design there, crazy. I will say, looking through all these music things, CD, vinyl, cassette, I'm always impressed about what they put in those vinyl cases. Cassette cases can be a little clever too. CD, kinda, but man, vinyl really are interesting. So let's go over the tracks here. I have to say, a lot of these tracks sound similar to each other, a lot blend in, but my theory is this is a concept album to a degree, but Queen at this time, they were breaking boundaries because they were doing like operatic stuff. They were going full rock opera. So first, Procession, it's an instrumental, very good, great. Oh, great use of guitar. It's very classical driven, and then you go into Father to Son. Along some of it's awesome. Has great chorus, has a great beat. The guitars are fantastic. Bass is good. White Queen transitions greatly to White Queen. White Queen's a great song. Kind of, a lot of these songs just have very experimental guitars, vocals, bass, drums, the whole works. I mean, it's crazy. Even vocals too. Someday, One Day, that's a good one. Kind of, I think that one kind of slow things down. Not maybe slow things down, but it definitely. I mean, the first three songs are kind of a 1, 2, 3 punch. Loser in the End kind of slow things down a little bit more. Not slow down, but it kind of goes on a more of a different pace. That's the best way to describe it. Pace. First three have a very similar pace. And then Side Black, the Org Ballad, that's a great opening track to the side because when you think things are really going to slow down, it kicks it into high gear. And then Fairy Filler's Masterstroke, that's actually really catchy. You wouldn't think so, but it's actually really catchy song. A lot of the songs, for what they are actually catchy in general. Nevermore, that one I kind of missed. It really was snuck in there. It was like a more transitional track more than anything, so I don't quite remember, but based on what I read in Wikipedia just now, it seemed good from what I remember. March of the Black Queen, oh man, that one is a heavy rocker. That one goes on and it's awesome. That one's really good. And then Funny How Love Is, that one's definitely probably the slowest of the album. Definitely the ballad song on the album. That one's really good too. The one that I think everyone would know is Seven Seas of Rye. That's the last track on the album. That's the one song that you see on the all the compilations. It's the only song from this album on the compilations. And to be honest, it's a great song. It is. It's a very great song. It's short, but it's catchy. It has a great riff, and it's memorable. And I can understand why it was the only single, because in the same year they released Sheer Heart Attack, and that was their breakout album. But their first two, Queen and Queen 2, no one really talks about those two albums. I haven't listened to the first one, but I will at some point. I just listened to this one, and from the sounds of it, it seems like they were very rock experimental. I think they didn't get super... I didn't think they adopted the pop edge till Sheer Heart Attack. Now, however, I do think it's kind of a shame they didn't release more singles on this. I think the reason why they didn't is because a lot of songs are longer than the typical single length track. It does help because to be honest, a lot of the songs have the title of the song in the song, which helps because if they didn't do that, the songs could blend in easily because the sound and tone does change, but everything sounds like it could be one song. And that's the thing about rock records a lot of the time is a lot of the music can blend in with each other, and sometimes it can be hard to remember which part went to which song. Now, if you listen to the record a gajillion times, of course you're going to know. But if you're listening to it for the first time, it's going to be a lot. So I think this whole album's just underrated. Like, all the songs on here are just, even Seven Seas of Rye even, underrated. This is probably one of the most underrated records I've ever listened to. Like, the songs on this, I mean, they did, in one song, I don't remember which one, but they did stuff on the guitars, a certain sound tricks that when I was growing up, I only heard in current stuff. I didn't hear old school shit did what this album did. I mean, geez, it's crazy. They were experimental in the right way because they didn't lose the rock edge. Some rock artists get so experimental they miss the rock part. Like they abandon the rock part and it becomes something too much, too experimental to the point where it's not really a song, it's just an exploration. They experiment, but it's tightly held together. Like it's focused. That's the key word. It's focused. It's so easy to become unfocused when you get too experimental. And man, these songs, man, the stories they tell with these songs is fantastic too. It's a kind of like a sword and sandals medieval fantasy kind of vibe I got with this one, and I love it. I love it. It's kind of like a Conan style kind of Conan the Barbarian or something like Jason the Argonauts or what's the other one? Clash of the Titans. I mean, I love those movies, and this music feels like a part of those movies. And also, we can't forget Flash Gordon that has a Queen song, and even Highlander has a Queen song in it that hasn't been on anything else. And even the band went back and said they didn't care for it, which is an interesting fact because the song isn't only used in one scene, I believe. So, man, I love that movie too. But off topic. But anyway, this album, Queen 2 here, this is an awesome record. I highly recommend checking it out on YouTube or CD or whatever. I think standout tracks, the opening tracks always stand out to me because it's the initial reaction. But Father to Son, that's a great one. Like, all these songs are great. And if I listen to it again and I literally took notes on each song, I could probably give more detail. But I don't do that mainly because because it really, the thing about taking notes on individual songs is that it's different with compilation records where songs stand out more because they come from different records and different times in a band's life, and plus they're the singles, so they are built in a way that are more radio friendly. These songs aren't radio songs per se. They could be, but they're built, these songs tell a story and they go as long as they can. A lot of these songs aren't short songs, in my opinion. These are longer songs, and they could be singles now, but back in the day, they wouldn't. They didn't allow long songs to be played until Bohemian Rhapsody was big. I mean, that was a huge thing when they tried to make that a single, because they were like, this song's way too fucking long. Stations aren't going to play it. We need a song that's short, you know? And that's probably why Seven Seas of Rye was a single, because it was the shortest song on the track that wasn't an instrumental. Like, seriously. But all the songs on this I love, and they all have a similar tone, but they're all experimental in different ways. There's a lot of orchestra, and they mix the tricks of guitars and all the instruments and the vocals. They mix it really well. It's composed well. They experimented well, they were focused, and they composed well in all the songs on this. Nothing stands out as bad. This is probably the most perfect records I've ever listened to that no one talks about. It is that good. I love this record, and I love it because it just... yeah. I always loved Queen. Queen was one of the first bands I listened to. The first one I actually listened to was Kiss. Then it was either Queen or Van Halen went second. I think Queen went second, but I lost that CD shortly, and Van Halen kind of took that spot. I didn't really get back to Queen till much later, but yeah, I fucking love Queen. And this is a great record. Like, I love everything about this record. Like, I don't know what else I could say verbatim about why. I wish I could go more in detail on the songs, but to be honest, with albums like this, the songs blend in. So it's like you're listening to one awesomely long song, and where the only way you can tell it's a different song is through the lyrics, or difference in like pace or tone. But with records like these, the songs are meant to be blended because it's a concise vision. You know, when bands used to put albums together, this is kind of slightly off topic, but when bands put the songs to an album together, they made it like a unified vision. Like when a guy makes a movie, it's a unified vision in tone. You know, sure, you can have some scenes and stuff that can be a little off kilter, but for the most part, it's unified. It's kind of like an album. Sure, you may have some moments of experimentation, but it's a unified vision. Like The stuff on this, all the songs fit on this record. None of them stand out as not belonging on this record. Like, you can tell they sit down like, we're gonna make an album that's experimental but focused and unified, and they did just that. This is a perfect blend of everything awesome about Queen. Early Queen, at least. When they get later on, Queen evolves and they did different stuff. This is like early Queen. Early Queen is very, not different, but you can tell they were very experimental. But they kept getting experimental, but the tools changed. This is them with their early era of tool using, and it's awesome. I gotta listen to the first one. I imagine the first one's very similar to this one, but I'm not gonna say for sure yet. If anything, I think if I'm gonna say anything that stands out, the tracks can stand out if you listen to it more. But after listening to it through it once, I will say the tracks do stand out, and they all have their own thing going on in them. But there's a lot of similarities between all of them. But it's a great thing because they're all experimental. They all mix the tricks of guitars, drums, bass, and vocals and so on incredibly well, to the point where it's fresh. It feels well made, God, I don't know what else I can say to convey like how great this album is. I wish I could say more details on the songs, but to be honest, note taking for songs and the difference between all of them, that takes so long to do. And to be honest, it's not really necessary because it's not a compilation album I could do that with. But with an album, a typical album, you can't really do that because the songs are not built to be separate from each other unless that was the goal. That wasn't the goal. The vision was for songs to kind of, I think this was a not a compilation, a concept album. I think this was where concept albums tell a story. Like, all the songs played in order tell kind of a rough story. And maybe that wasn't what they were going for, but they were definitely messing around with rock operas. And rock operas and operas are kind of like a concept album to a degree. So that's probably what they were doing. But I love it. Like, I will say, if any track's gonna stand out to me, the black and white Queen songs are awesome. Org Battle is definitely very man, it's so hard to like, because all the songs are all awesome in their own ways, but at the same time, it's, oh man, it's like they had, man, I don't know what else I can say about it. This is just an awesome record. I mean, I will say, if you guys want to talk to me more about this record, your thoughts and opinions, let me know. I'm free for that. But yeah, I guess keep an eye out for it. If it's on YouTube, give it a listen. Like, all the tracks, not just one, all of them. In order, yes, because some of the songs do blend in with each other, so do listen to it in order if you can. But I'm sure you can find this on CD or vinyl. I don't know about cassette. Cassette's kind of a tricky area for finding records on. For topics that I'll get into another day. But yeah, guys, overall, awesome album. Check it out. I highly recommend it. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with me, Mike, or anyone else at Campy Company, don't want to use YouTube comment section. We do have a couple options. The first one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page /About section of our channel. We also have a discussion tab in our channel as well. You can access it through a PC or laptop computer. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good